So hello Shirley and Colin. Can you tell me, how did you get involved?
Well, I got involved because I needed to do something after my business failed, sadly due to COVID. So after 42 years, I had no idea where I was going to go or what I was going to do. So saw the community action advert for volunteers and started 2 days a week up at the car park, helping the volunteer programme to deliver the vaccines here at the Riverside.
Fantastic. So Colin, how did you?
Well, I started to volunteer. I volunteered, or I opted to volunteer back in March, but I wasn't picked up until later in the year because there were so many people who've given up their time selflessly. And then after volunteering, I saw Shirley there, and Shirley said, I knew Shirley from a previous existence, and she said, would you like to do this role? And I said, absolutely, looking after the volunteers and making sure that the centre runs smoothly for everybody.
So Shirley, I understand you were a vaccination coordinator, so what was your experience during that time?
Well, I started off volunteering and then Community Action were looking for a new coordinator due to the original coordinators going back to their day jobs. So I jumped at the chance of doing that, and what the nice part about it is having been part of the volunteer team, to actually get the opportunity to meet our volunteers day in, day out, keep an eye on them, make sure that they were comfortable, they were being looked after, and I've met some amazing people on the way.
Amazing. So either one of you, was there a particular moment that stands out for you during your time?
I would say that the volunteers are obviously highly motivated people to do service for the community, and there's a lot of times where there's a person that stands outside and engages in conversation with potential people to come inside, and the sense of fulfilment when they've had a conversation with somebody and then that person goes and gets vaccinated, or they tell somebody else by word of mouth. I think for me it's a joy seeing the reaction that they get, the volunteers get, and obviously you're helping ensure that the rest of the community is as protected as possible.
From my point of view, I think what it is come rain, come shine. We started this journey in February when it was blooming cold. Without complaint ever, they stood outside in all weathers, smile on their face, just to get the job done.
Yeah, I would say they're a joy to work with. All the volunteers, they come from such wide-ranging backgrounds, and it's just such a pleasure to do the job.
Now, is there a particular message that you would like to send out?
From my point of view, the message is to the volunteers especially. Riverside has been a very successful vaccination centre. It's delivered coming up to 70,000 vaccines in its time since February, and actually without the volunteers and the input from the volunteers, that vaccination centre wouldn't have not been successful, or certainly as successful as it has been, because without them making sure that sometimes very nervous people are delivered to the centre, and their journey through the centre is one of calm, and their journey is just motivated by the volunteers, and they're looked after by the volunteers. And certainly on the way out you see people go in with a bit of a worried look on their face, and they come out the other side with a big smile on their face, and largely that's down to our volunteers making sure that people are happy as they go through.
And I 100% agree with what Shirley said. I think that all the volunteers have got to be immensely proud of the contribution they've made. Without them, the Vaccination Centre wouldn't have been so successful. I just think it's a joy to have met so many people who not only volunteer here, but volunteer in other areas of island life as well.